Good morning, students. In today's class, we will start with the chapter that is some basic concepts of chemistry. Before going to chapter directly, and just I would like to introduce myself. My name is Lakshmikant, and I am going to deal for you this year chemistry subject for you. In your chemistry textbook, in volume 1, actually we have two volumes, volume 1 and volume 2. In that volume 1, your first chapter is some basic concepts of chemistry. Okay, and immediately we will just go through the chapter, that is, under this heading, we will go through what are the concepts present in basics of chemistry. Just this is like an introduction to chemistry. Before that, what is meant by chemistry? Chemistry is the branch of science which deals with chemical reactions which are happening surrounding us. Chemistry is the branch of science. It is a branch of science which deals about the chemical reactions which are happening surrounding us. Chemical reactions means we have to know what is the definition of chemical reaction, correct? Before going to chemical reactions, we have to know those chemical reactions are taken place by what are the particles. Okay, to know those particles, first we have to know what are the basics present in this chemistry. So this is like an introduction part or basics for whatever the topic present coming next chapters for you. Okay, ma? Now, under this heading, first immediately we will go through matter. What is the definition of matter? Any substance which has mass and occupies space is called matter. Once again, any substance which has mass and occupies space is called matter. Let us consider surrounding us so many substances are there. Okay, let us consider this marker now. This has some mass. If you keep it on weighing machine, it will show some mass. And if you keep it in space like this, it is going to occupy some volume in this room. Definitely it is going to occupy some volume. Okay, then this is coming under matter. Let us take myself. I have some mass. Whether it is large or small, whatever it is, whether it is very big mass or whether it is even 10 power minus 6, 10 power minus 5 grams, very small mass also, whether that substance is contained by mass or not. Okay, if that substance has mass and if it occupies space, then it is called matter. Okay, let us consider air. Actually, we are not able to see air, but can't we say it is a matter? Definitely we can say it is a matter, because I think in earlier classes you might have known one small stick was taken to that stick. One side it is filled with one side it is knotted with filled balloon which is contained by air. Another side normal balloon without air, we have tied that one. Then definitely that stick will be tilted towards one side which has that balloon which has filled with air. That is showing that that air has some mass. Because of that mass only, that stick is tilted towards one side. Then air has mass. But we are not able to see air, but we can weigh the air by taking into one container. Empty container, first we will see the weight. After that, by filling with air, we can see the weight. Definitely, after filling with air, its weight is more than empty container. That means it has some mass. Next, how it is occupying the space, that is volume. Let us take the balloon itself. That balloon has air. By seeing that itself, we can understand that has some shape. Correct or not? That air which is present in that balloon, it is occupying some space in that balloon. So air has mass and it is occupying some space also. It is coming under matter. Okay, next, any liquid. Water, let us consider. Water is contained by some mass. Definitely we know. This is general thing only. And if you take water in that any container, it is going to occupy some volume. So finally, what is the matter definition? Once again, conclusion. Any substance which has mass and occupies space is called matter. Okay. Now, this is the definition. Once again, I repeated. What is the classification of matter? We will go through in this class. Now, that is, matter can be classified depending on two characteristics. Those are physical characteristics and chemical characteristics. Matter can be classified depending on two characteristics. One is physical characteristics and another one is called chemical characteristics. If matter is classified depending on physical characteristics, that is called physical classification. If matter is classified depending on physical characteristics, that is called physical classification. If matter is classified depending on chemical characteristics, that is called chemical classification. First, what is the thing we have discussed with matter now? Okay, what is the definition of matter we have seen? How that matter will be classified depending on various characteristics. Depending on physical characteristics and depending on chemical characteristics we can classify. This is nothing but by seeing one person we can classify depending on two characteristics. Any human being can be classified depending on two characteristics, depending on physical characteristics as well as chemical characteristics. For example, so if you see me immediately, you can understand what is the color I have. Next, whether I wear specs or not. What is the color of my hair? Are you understanding? What is height? Means if you see total, definitely you will understand what is my height. Like that, by seeing the person itself, we can understand some properties. Those properties are called physical properties of person. In our normal terms also we will say physical appearance. Physical appearance. Externally what it is appeared, that is called physical appearance. So that is nothing but physical characteristics. By seeing a person itself, we can understand easily physical characteristics. Now, what about the behavior of the person? What about the behavior of the person? That one, by seeing itself, we cannot say. Suppose by seeing me immediately, you cannot say whether I teach properly or not. After listening 4 or 5 classes only, you will come to know whether sir will teach properly or not. Or let us consider your friends only. By seeing that person itself, whether he is very good friend or not, like that you cannot say. After doing friendship years, so many years only, you will come to know he is best friend for you, he is a very good person, he is very kind hearted, like that you will come to know. Is it correct, no? Like that, those are chemical characteristics. Behavior is coming under chemical characteristic. Physical appearance is nothing but physical characteristic. Like that, matter also, it can be classified depending on physical characteristics as well as chemical characteristics. Okay, depending on physical characteristics, the classification is called physical classification. Depending on chemical characteristics, the classification is called chemical classification. Now, separately, we will see what is the physical classification and what is the chemical classification. Okay, ma? I am going to continue. Let us see that one. Giving this heading, physical classification. Depending on physical characteristics, matter can be classified into majorly 3 types. Those are solid, liquid, and gas. And these three states, these three substances are called physical states of matter. These three are commonly called as physical states of matter. But along with these three, 2 more are also known. Those 2 are plasma and Bose-Einstein condensate. Plasma and Bose-Einstein condensate. Totally 5 physical states of matter we have, but on our Earth surface or surrounding us, we know only 3. Those are solid, liquid, and gas. What about remaining 2? Plasma and Bose-Einstein condensate. Plasma is the state, it is happened at very high temperature. It requires very high temperature. Near to the sun only plasma will be present. no chance on its surface. Near to the sun, the temperature is very high. At that temperature only, plasma can be present. Okay. Ionic form of a gas is called plasma. Now, Bose-Einstein condensate. These two scientists, Bose and Einstein, these two scientists, they have found one state of matter at very low temperature, that is minus 273 degrees centigrade. Minus 273 degrees centigrade. Very low temperature. 0 degrees we can estimate. 0 degrees is very low. Can we hold ice for some time? We cannot, because that is at 0 degrees centigrade. Very low temperature. Less than that, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, like that, when the temperature is decreased, it is very horrible for us. Then what about the condition of minus 273? You can understand. At that very low temperature, they found one state of matter that is called, under their name they gave Bose-Einstein condensate. Almost atoms, one atom and another atom will be completely overlapped with each other. Means they will come very closer at very low temperature. Almost they are getting overlapped with each other. That state is called Bose-Einstein condensate. But at normal temperature, all these things, it won't be happened. That's why we don't bother about this plasma and Bose-Einstein condensate highly. Okay, so our concentration is entirely regarding solid, liquid and gas. Okay, ma'am? Now we will see what about the differences between solid, liquid and gas clearly. After that, interconversion of solid into liquid, liquid to gas. Like that we will see that one. Shall we go through now? Okay, now. Solid, liquid, gas. Okay, now the particles present in a solid, are very closely packed with each other. In a solid, the particles, small particles which are present, those are present very closely packed with each other, means they are very present nearer to each other. Next, liquid. In liquid, the particles are little bit loosely held from one each other. Like that we can say. But in gas, the particles are very far away from each other. Very far away from each other. This is the main difference between solid, liquid and gas. Now once again, first difference. In solid, the particles which are present, the small particles which are present are very close to each other. Next, coming to liquid. The particles which are present in liquid are little bit loosely packed with each other. But in gas, they are very loosely packed with each other. Okay, next, second one. Distance between the particles is called interparticular distance. Distance between the particles is called interparticular distance. What is meant by inter? Inter is nothing but between. Interparticular distance. Between the particles, what is the distance present? That is called interparticular distance. Now, in solids, interparticular distance is very less. Interparticular distance is very less. How? These particles are very closely packed with each other. When they are very closely packed with each other, distance between them is very less because they are very nearer to each other. Next, coming to liquid. Interparticular distances in liquid are little bit high when compared to solid. We can write high. Because these particles are little bit far away from each other, then distance between them will be high. Next, coming to gas, those distance between the particles is very high. That is, interparticular distance is very high in gas. Interparticular distance in solid is very less. Interparticular distance in liquid is high. Okay, next, third one. The force present between the particles is called interparticular force. Once again, previously we have told that interparticular distance. Now the distance is okay, clear. Now force is there. Between the particles, some force will be created. Okay, what is that force? Which type of force? All these things in next coming classes you will understand now. Chemical bond, everything will be discussed in the chapter. Now that force you can understand. Okay, between the particles some force will be there. That force is called interparticular force. Inter means between, particular. Between the particles some force is there. That is called interparticular force. Now coming to solid, what about the interparticular force? These particles are very closely packed with each other. No? Why? Because the force is very high. Very high. Because of that force is very high, these particles are very closely packed with each other. Interparticular forces in solids will be very high because the particles are very closely packed with each other. No? As forces are very high, they are very nearer to each other. Because of that only they are very closely packed with each other. Very high. Next, coming under liquid, low. That interparticular forces are low. Because of that, little bit moderately they are present far away from each other. Coming to gas, very low. This third point is regarding interparticular force. Second point is regarding interparticular distance. Both are inversely proportional, opposite to each other. When it is very less, the force will be very high. When force is very high, then only the particles are very close with each other and the particles are very nearer to each other. Okay, ma? This is about major three differences between solid, liquid and gas. Next, fourth one we will see. Shall I rub this one, ma? Fourth one is the difference related to the compressibility. Compressibility. For example, what is meant by compressibility? Means we can apply force on that one. Because of that application of force, there should be any change in the shape. Then compressibility we will consider as a property. Okay, now let us consider in three conditions. I am taking injection syringe now. That injection syringe, I removed that needle, okay, and I closed this one with gum, and I took this one piston. Like this three I took. In this first condition, I took sand. This is fully sand only. Sand is a solid, na? Up to correctly this much extent, fully I have taken sand, and now I am applying piston. That is, piston is nothing but we will apply like this, na? That is piston. Okay. When we apply piston, will it go inside? No. It will be stopped there only. Because already the solid particles are very closely packed. Further, if you apply force also, they cannot come further closer. Means, even though if you apply pressure from outside, we are not able to compress the particles. Because already in solids, the particles are very closer to each other. Even though if you apply force, they cannot come closer. I think you are understanding. Okay. Then compressibility for solids, it is very less. We cannot compress the solids. What is meant by we cannot compress the solids? Even if you apply force on solid, the shape of the solid will not be affected. That is nothing but compressibility of solid is very less, we cannot compress the solids. Now I took water here. Fully I took water. Now I am applying piston. Little bit we can move up to this much extent. This piston will go inside. Why it is happening like that? Because in water the molecules are little bit far away from each other. Na? When we apply pressure from outside, from above, these particles are coming little bit closer. Then they will come closer means the volume will be reduced. Then the piston will be going inside, but not very high. It will be up to some extent, up to this much extent. Previously, even that is also not moved. Here only the piston is present. Okay, now if you take liquid, little bit we can compress. So what about the compressibility of liquid? Compressibility of liquid is less or high. High when compared to solid. Okay, ma? Now once again, what is this compressibility? When we apply force from outside, the shape of the substance, whether it is changed or not. Here, what happened here? I took sand in a syringe piston, that injection piston. I removed that needle and I kept gum there. Because of that, it cannot go out. Now, when I am applying that pressure, that piston, it is getting applied. It is not going inside. That means even little bit also it cannot move. Already the particles present in solid are very closely packed with each other. So even though if you apply compression, it is not getting happened on solid. So solids cannot be compressed. It is very less. Coming to liquids, little bit the piston will go inside, meaning little bit they can be compressed. That is high. Now coming to gas, take one empty. Empty is nothing but it is filled with air. Okay. Now apply the piston. Definitely the piston will go up to this much extent. If you want, try this one with gas. No problem. In your home, if you have any syringe, but remove that needle. Be careful about that one. Close that one with one finger or any gum. No problem. Once try that one. If you apply piston, definitely it will go very far. Up to this much extent it will go. After that it will not, because molecules came closer already. Previously they are very far away from each other. Na? Now because of this applying force, they will come closer. Further, up to this much extent we can compress. Further, it is not possible. Once if you want, check that one. Even I checked. If you want, just to take one empty syringe and try that one. You will understand. Gases can be compressed very highly. So this is very high. Compressibility of gas is very high. This is fourth property. Okay, these are the major differences of solids, liquids and gases. First, the particles present in the solid are very closely packed with each other. Liquids, little bit loosely packed with each other. In gases, they are loosely packed very highly, very loosely packed. Second one, interparticular distances. Interparticular distances in solids will be very less because they are very close to each other. In liquids, high. In gases, very high. Okay, next. Coming on the third one, interparticular forces. Interparticular forces are very high in solids. Then only the particles are attracted by very high force and they are very closely packed with each other. Okay, here less. Here very less. Now what about compressibility? When we apply pressure from outside, any change in shape of the container, any change in shape of the substance, then it is highly compressed. Like that we can say that one. Now we have taken 3 syringes. Like that one experiment we have seen. That is, first condition I have filled with sand. Second condition I have taken one liquid water. Third condition I have taken gas. Gas is no need to take. Simply if you press that one, inside it is contained by gas only. Okay. What about the compressibility factor? In first condition, that piston will not move at all. That means solids cannot be compressed. Coming to liquids, little bit the syringe will go in, that piston will go inside. Little bit, up to some extent. That means little bit highly we can compress when compared to solids. Liquids can be compressed when compared to solids. Coming to gas, very highly we can compress. So further it will go inside now. This piston will be coming up to here. This is about differences between solid, liquid and gases. I think you understood this concept now. Next we will see interconversions of physical states of matter. In what way solid will be converted to gas, liquid will be converted to gas, and even solid to gas also. Okay, ma? Now we will see that one. Before that, till now what is the thing we have completed? First, we have seen matter definition. Matter can be classified depending on physical characteristics as well as chemical characteristics. Depending on physical characteristics, if matter is classified, that is called physical classification. Physical classification of matter is done into 3 types: solid, liquid and gas. Actually 5 types, but surrounding us only 3 types we know. Those are solid, liquid and gas. These 3, solid, liquid and gas, are commonly called as physical states of matter. These 3 are commonly called as physical states of matter. Now, started with physical classification only. Differences between solid, liquid and gas we have seen, with 4 differences we have seen. Is it clear? After completion of this physical classification, we will go through chemical classification. Okay? Now, let us see with interconversions. Interconversion of physical states of matter. This is simple only, already we know. Let us consider this one, solid. If you heat this solid, if solid is heated, it will be converted to liquid. The process of conversion of solid to liquid is called melting. The process of conversion of solid to liquid is called melting. Next. Actually, this can be reversed also. We can convert liquid to solid. For example, solid ice is there. Okay, ice when we keep outside from the fridge, what will be happen? That is converted to liquid. Ice converted to liquid. Okay, that is melting. Next, if you keep that liquid, water again, if you keep it in fridge, the molecules will be coming closer. Because temperature is reduced, then the molecules will be coming closer. That process is called freezing. Conversion of liquid to solid is called freezing. Conversion of solid to liquid is called melting. Please observe the arrow marks. According to that arrow marks, remember carefully. Solid to liquid, this conversion is this arrow mark. Liquid to reverse, liquid to solid, this arrow mark. That is freezing. Okay, next. Directly, solid can be converted to gas. Directly, solid can be converted to gas. That process is called sublimation. The process of conversion of solid to gas. The process of conversion of solid to gas is called sublimation. Now, same thing can be reversed. Directly, gas can be converted to solid. That process is also called sublimation. The process is also called sublimation. Okay, for this example, if you take camphor, camphor simply if it catches fire, in front of us itself, that gas solid that is present in solid state, immediately it is getting vaporized, converted to gas. Okay, camphor by catching fire, it will be converted to direct gas. One more thing, this one you know very well, I think, dry ice. What is a dry ice? Dry ice is called solid carbon dioxide. Solid carbon dioxide. That is converted to directly gas. That solid carbon dioxide, no need to convert into, it will not be converted to liquid. Directly it will be converted to gas. This one easily I will say, in cinema movies, they will use, while any, just if they want to give one foam effect, okay, from below they will release one gas. Like a foam, it will be coming out. Okay, the gas is nothing but carbon dioxide. Normally they will carry that carbon dioxide in the form of solid state. That is called dry ice. Okay, simply if they give that pressure, because of the directly that solid will be converted to gas. Immediately that is converted to carbon dioxide. It is coming out in the form of gas. Okay, that conversion is called solid to gas, which is called sublimation. Even if you just search in YouTube also, how that solid carbon dioxide is present, how that one will be converted to gas state, they have given some experiments. Okay, even you can see that one also, you can watch, no problem. Directly solid is converted to gas is called sublimation. If gas is converted to solid also, that is also called sublimation. Next. The process of conversion of liquid to gas is called evaporation. The process of conversion of liquid to gas is called evaporation. Gas to liquid. Suppose while we are cooking or otherwise while we are boiling water, if you keep a plate on that one, after some time, if you open that plate is coated with water. What is happening? Inside water is getting evaporated. Okay, converted to gas. Immediately that gas again on the plate, it is getting converted to liquid again. That is conversion of gas to liquid. That process is called condensation. That process is called condensation. In this way, you can draw this triangular shape. Conversion of one state to another state. Solid to liquid, liquid to gas, even directly gas to solid also can be happened. The process, everything you have to know. Solid to liquid is called melting. Liquid to solid, the process of conversion of liquid to solid is called freezing. Next, the process of conversion of solid to gas is called sublimation. The process of conversion of gas to solid is called sublimation. Both are same only. Next, the process of conversion of liquid to gas is called evaporation. This is very familiar to us, known to us easily. Even gas to liquid is called condensation. This is about interconversion of physical. This is called interconversion of physical states of matter. So one physical state can be converted to another physical state in this way. And what are the processes involved? Everything it is represented. Please make a note. Everything. Okay, if I am explaining the definition also, matter definition like that, physical classification, everything, please make a note in a pair notes. Okay, ma'am? Next, after completion of this, by this we completed physical classification, ma'am. We will go to chemical classification. Till now, what we have seen? We have seen the definition of matter, and depending on physical characteristics, it will be classified, as well as chemical characteristics. First, we have seen everything physical classification. Physical classification of matter will be happen into three types. Those are solid, liquid, and gas. Differences between solid, liquid, and gas, as well as interconversion of solid to liquid. What is that process called? Liquid to gas. Like that, interconversion process also we have seen. I hope you understood everything. Okay, till now what it is completed. Now we will go through chemical classification of matter. Depending on chemical characteristics, matter is classified into two types. Those are pure substances and impure substances. Depending on chemical characteristics, matter is classified into two types. Those are pure substances and impure substances. Now, again, pure substances are classified into two types. Those are elements and compounds. Elements and compounds are coming under pure substances. Impure substances are also called mixtures. Other name for impure substances, that is mixtures. Now, the impure substances again classified into two types. Homogeneous mixture or homogeneous impure substance and heterogeneous This is total chemical classification. Okay, chemically, matter can be classified into two types. Those are pure substances and impure substances. Pure substances are again classified into two types. Those are elements and compounds. Impure substances are again, first before that, impure substances are also called mixtures now. Those mixtures are classified into two types. Those are homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. Now, topic wise, we will go through what are the things present here, everything. Okay, ma? Now, let us start with first pure substances. I am going to rub this one. First, what is the definition of pure substance? The substance which has same kind of particles. The substance which has same kind of particles is called pure substance. Once again, the substance which has same kind of particles is called pure substance. For example, what we are drinking now, that is mineral water. Okay, is that a pure substance, man? Generally, we will say that RO purified, that one is mixed with minerals, everything pure water we will say. That is a normal term. Regarding chemical term, we should not say that is a pure substance because it is not contained by one type of particle. Mixture of different particles are present. Suppose example water, dissolved gas like oxygen, minerals like HCl, like that they are present in water. Then that is not pure. Distilled water, you know. I think you know the name distilled water. The distilled water is not at all mixed with any substance. It is contained by only water molecules. There is no other molecule present. Then that is called pure substance. Correctly, if you know, distilled water, pure water is tasteless, odorless. Okay, ma? But mineral water, what we are drinking, little bit sweet taste we will observe. Definitely difference is there, correct or not? That is not pure water. But we want minerals. Our body wants minerals, that's why we are drinking that. Okay, keep aside. Chemically, I am telling that is impure. That is a mixture, that is coming under mixture, not pure substance. Only water, distilled water is called pure substance. Okay? Now, once again, I am repeating the definition now. Pure substance. What is meant by pure substance? The substance which has same kind of particles is called pure substance. Now, this pure substance is classified into two types. Those are A, elements, and B, compounds. First we will complete these elements, after that we will go through compounds one. Okay, now let us see what is the definition of this element. Let us consider one example. One block of calcium I took. One block of calcium. Okay, if you observe that block of calcium, it has only calcium atoms. Throughout that solid, it is contained by only one type of particles. Those are only calcium atoms. There is no other substance mixed in that calcium, that block. Okay, now I am telling that this element is the substance. This element is the substance which contains same kind of atoms. Element is the substance which contains same kind of atoms which cannot be separated by chemical means, chemical techniques, which cannot be separated by chemical techniques. That is called element. Now once again I am repeating the definition. The element is the substance, okay, which contains same kind of atoms. The element is the substance which contains same kind of atoms and which cannot be separated by chemical techniques. Which cannot be separated by chemical techniques. That is called element. Okay, ma? Now see, observe. This is the block of calcium. That block of calcium contains only one kind of atoms. Those are calcium atoms only. Is there any other particle present there? No. No other particle is mixed with calcium. Then this is example for element. But in element, what is the small particle present? Atom. These are all atoms. Calcium atoms. Now other thing which cannot be separated by chemical techniques. Which cannot be separated by chemical techniques. That part is, suppose I made this block, total one block, into two parts. Same block, I am doing that just by breaking that one. I am converting that one block into two blocks. Now this first block contains which atoms? Calcium atoms. Second block contains calcium atoms only. Is there any difference between first block and second block? No. If you supply oxygen gas, to this calcium two blocks, we will get calcium oxide. From first block we will get calcium oxide. From second block we will get calcium oxide. That means this block is made, one block is made into two blocks by physical technique only. It is not separated chemically. It is separated chemically means we have to get different compounds with oxygen. Not only with oxygen, if it reacts with any other substances, we have to get different compounds. But are we getting? No, because even first block contains calcium atoms. Second block also contains calcium atoms only, because previously already there, the total block is uniformly distributed with only one type of particles. Those are calcium atoms. So even if this block is reacted with oxygen, we will get calcium oxide. Even this block is also reacted with oxygen, we will get calcium oxide only. Chemically they are not separated. Physically only they are separated. That means elements cannot be separated chemically. This is the explanation. You understood, ma? I think you understood this concept. Now, what is the definition of this element once again? The substance which has same type of atoms. The substance which has same kind of atoms and which cannot be separated by chemical techniques is called element. So many examples we have: hydrogen, calcium, potassium, sodium, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen. Like this, so many elements we have. Those all elements we have to note down in this question. In our notes. First 30 elements are important. The 30 elements I will write on the board. Okay. This is about first pure substance. First one, that is element. Next we will see the compound. Okay. Before that, what is the element? I think you understood this one. Okay, ma? Okay, I hope you understood this elements concept, ma? Now we will say what are the different types, what are the various examples for elements we have. That one I will write it on board. Just note down. First 30 elements in the order of their atomic numbers we will write. But you will get the doubt what is meant by that atomic number. That atomic number definition, everything in next chapter, that is structure of atom, we will come to know. Just now, even though if you are not bothering about that atomic number, simply maintain like a serial number. Okay, ma? In that serial number, remember the 30 elements, I will write on board. Serial number, name of the element, and symbol. Same. Serial number, name of the element, and symbol. Started with first one, hydrogen. Like a serial number you can write, no? Actually these numbers are nothing but atomic numbers. The definition in next coming classes you will come to know, no problem at all. Okay? Now, what is the symbol of hydrogen? H. Next, second one, helium, He. Third one, lithium, Li. Fourth one, beryllium, Be. While we are writing the symbols, we have to observe first, if it has only one letter, that must be capital letter. If it has two letters, first letter must be capital letter, second letter must be small letter. That is the rule. If an element symbol has only one letter, it must be capital letter, H. If it has two letters, first letter must be capital letter, second letter must be small letter, H, E, L, I, B. Okay, next. Fifth one, boron, B. Sixth one, carbon, symbol C. Seventh one, nitrogen, N. 8, oxygen, O. 9, fluorine, F. Next. 10, neon, Ne. 11, sodium, Na. Actually, sodium, Na, there is no relation, but sodium Latin name is natrium. Natrium, that is called Latin name. From that Latin name, they got Na. Okay, now 12th one, magnesium, Magnesium, symbol is Mg. Aluminium, symbol Al. 14, silicon, Si. 15, phosphorus, P, capital P. 16, sulfur, S. 17, chlorine, Cl. Okay, first 17 I wrote now. If you note down that one, after that again I will write 18th onwards. Okay, these are the elements, first 17 elements. First hydrogen, 2 the helium, like that, note down now. Next, after that I will write down from here 17 onwards. Okay. Seventeenth I wrote already, 18th onwards I will write. 18, argon. Argon, symbol is Ar. Next, 19, potassium. POTASSIUM. Potassium symbol came because Latin name of potassium is kalium. Latin name of potassium is kalium. From the kalium, K is the symbol. Next, 20, calcium. I took the example for element na, that calcium I took. It has, these are all contained by same kind of atoms. Calcium symbol Ca. 21, scandium, symbol Sc. 22, titanium, Ti. 23, vanadium, V. If you remember that Endiran movie, Rajnikant movie, Endiran, in that, while that robo is chatting with that police officer, he will say that what is the metal, like that he some incident will be happened. So no, all metal, all everything is made with titanium, like that he will say that metal is titanium, this one. Okay, next 24, chromium. Chromium symbol is Cr. 25, manganese, symbol Mn. 26, iron. Iron symbol actually Fe, okay, but from where we got this one? Latin name ferrum. Ferrum. From that Latin name ferrum, we got this iron symbol Fe. Next, 27, cobalt. Cobalt, Co. First letter must be capital letter, second letter must be small letter. Next, 28, nickel. Nickel symbol Ni. 29, copper, symbol Cu. Copper and Cu, cuprum. Cuprum is the Latin name of copper. Cuprum. Cuprum is the Latin name of copper. From that we got Cu. Next, 30, zinc. Zinc symbol is Zn. These are the first 30 elements. These are all examples for elements, in which what is the definition of element? The element is the substance which contains same kind of atoms, which cannot be separated by chemical techniques. Okay, if you want, just go through like a table column. In what way I wrote? Make a fail note. Okay, and you have to remember these first 30 elements very carefully, even symbols also. Okay, after completion of this, we will get one term, that is atomic weight also. Okay, if you are able to leave serial number, name, symbol, one more column you can give in your bookmark, that is atomic weight, gram atomic weight. One more column you can leave. After getting that concept, what are the atomic weights of first 30 elements, I will say. If you are able to leave that one. Otherwise, one more time you have to write. Okay, see, serial number, name, symbol, one more column, that is gram atomic weight. Fourth column. In your book, little bit spacious only, so 4 columns you can write. Make that gram atomic weight empty whenever the topic is completed. When it is going to be completed, after that I will say first 30 elements, gram atomic weights. Okay, ma? In this class, till this we have completed. Started with physical classification, solid, liquid and gases, differences between solids, liquids and gases, and how they are interconverted from one state to another state we have seen. Even plasma and Bose state introduction I gave. Okay, next, chemical classification. Chemical classification, depending on chemical characteristics, matter is classified into 2 types. Those are elements and compounds. Started with elements we have seen. What is the definition? What are the examples? In next class, we will see the compounds and what about the continuation. Okay, ma'am? Thank you all.